standing ovations as he's given the highest scientific award in Texas, Dr. Pianka a few years ago, and the reporters that taped it. It's just the entire, 1,000+ people in attendance, all the top scientists of Texas. He's got international awards. When he projected red skulls on the wall and said the mass death is coming, they stood for a minute and began to weep. Oh, yes, the mass death is coming. I'm not supposed to be concerned about that. You ever seen 12 Monkeys? I'm not supposed to be worried about any of this. No, I'm supposed to literally hide under my table because they say there's 100 al-Qaeda in all of Central Asia, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and most of them have pedigrees on record, being trained and recruited by the CIA, British intel, and Israeli intel. I mean, this is all just facts. I'm supposed to give up my entire Bill of Rights and Constitution and let a pot-bellied pervert grab my genitals and fondle my children and fondle my wife because I'm going to be safe? I was watching Terminator Resurrection this morning on the treadmill. Nothing like a good action movie to divert yourself. And it shows they capture the humans and do medical experiments on them, the government machine system that got out of control, Skynet, and they're herding them in the processing units, and it looks like the TSA. It's all prisoner training. Man, they admit that's what it is. It's getting you used to, as a law-abiding citizen, having people bug their eyes out at you, treat you like trash, and prisoner induction. You'll happily right into the showers. I see it. I know what's going on. My ancestors weren't chumps, and neither am I. Now, you can disgrace your ancestors if you want and suck your thumb all day. As for me, I'm not going to do it. But after I take a passel and then some of your phone calls, a kit and caboodle, and then some, a gobbin of your calls, I'm going to get into the doomsday system straight ahead and why they're setting the stratagem up. 800-259-9231. There are limits. Yeah, coming up, I'm going to get into the fact that our loving eugenicist government that constantly talks about how they want to kill everybody with controlled bioweapon releases once the world government's in place as the scientific kill grid. Once the technocracy's in place, then the plagues start getting released, and it'll always be blamed on Al-Qaeda or say that it naturally developed, and then they'll teach you to be in more and more lockdown cities to protect you from the future plague. There'll be a medical tyranny over you to keep you alive, and there'll be heroes that defeat the last plague, but it'll always get worse. And then there'll be those that blame the government for doing it, and they'll have to be arrested because everyone knows the government wouldn't hurt us, except we were already aware of their plan, and they're going to talk about it right now on record. You're not going to like that very much, are you, New World Order? That'll mess up your sickening control freak plan. Eric in Wisconsin, you're on the air. Welcome.
Hello, Alex. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, I have 2 quick points for anyone listening to your radio show right now. Number 1, we are nothing to them. Our lives, the lives of our loved ones, your kids, your family, means absolutely nothing to them, and they laugh at us. They don't care at all about anything you feel, anything you say or do. All they want is control over us. And we do sound paranoid. To a person that does not know what's going on, we sound paranoid and crazy.
Oh, there were stories about Hitler putting people in forced labor camps from 1938 right through the end of the war, and it was on the news that it wasn't true. I mean, they had the head of the FBI in the early 50s out saying there's no such thing as organized crime. That's like saying the big banks don't launder the drug money or the government doesn't bring the drugs in. I mean, it's a known fact, but still the general public are like children. I mean, think of how stupid in 2012 or 2001 or in 1970 to say there's not organized crime. But then when they had to admit it, they said it's only the Italians. That's the group, because that was a group starting to try to muscle out the WASP and the Jewish and Dixie mafias, Irish mafia. Every group had a mafia. And the Italians started getting big britches. They're getting really big for their britches. And so they said, okay, it does exist, but it's only Italians. Again, that's how they control people's minds. Anything else, sir?
Yes, one more thing. When the Gardasil whole thing first came out, my sister, she's a nurse. She's 28 years old. So I asked her, what do you think on this Gardasil vaccine? Because I was starting to find out the truth from you and researching it for myself. And I asked her, what do you think about this? She says, oh, get it. You should get it. I'm a male. I'm 23 years old. I'm a male. She says, you should get it. And I was like, why should I get something that will protect me from, something that would happen to organs I don't even have? She says, oh, it can affect you in certain ways. She's a decent person. She's a great person, but she's fooled. So anyone listening that thinks that this is a joke or this is not happening or it's all lies, wake up, because they have good people fooled, and it's harming people that we love, and they don't care. And they
I hear you. I hear you. Good points. We're going to go to more calls here in a moment, but I'm going to just tell this story briefly. I hired more video editors and people 6-7 months ago, as you know, and I just hired them off a Craigslist ad. I didn't say what it was for, and I didn't hire people who agree with me politically. I just hired folks to do the job, because I know you work here, you're going to see the facts, you're going to learn I'm telling the truth, you're going to join the rebellion against tyranny. But the guy we hired ended up being somebody who'd heard of the show before and who was a libertarian. But I don't really know his wife. I'm not going to say his name. But a few weeks ago, I was up here late. She was coming to pick him up, or they were meeting here. And I said, why don't we all just go out to dinner? The nighttime crew. I'll take us out to a local steakhouse. So we go out to eat. And during the conversation, I look at her, who's a nurse, and she'd come from work. She's wearing her jacket and her little nurse outfit, her scrubs. And I said to her, hey, what happened 3 years ago with the H1N1 shot? And she went, oh, my gosh. She's not even really a listener to the show. She's like, oh, my gosh, it was just, she didn't even know who I am, really. She goes, oh, my gosh, it's terrible. It's just absolutely horrible what happened. One lady at our hospital got paralyzed and has to be fed with a spoon, Guillain-Barré, and some others had some problems too, and they told us we have to wear a mask if we don't take it. And we all read the insert that it can cause us to have all these neurological disorders, but they just keep trying to make us take it. All right, we'll be right back with more of your calls.
We're on the mark.
I mean, imagine Merck, the same folks that put out the polio vaccine, and right through until modern times know that the original stocks they used to produce it has live super deadly cancer viruses that have affected billions of people worldwide, hundreds of millions in the U.S. And I've played the Merck scientist clips here, admitting it, laughing about it. It's very, very funny. And Merck, who came out with all these other drugs, and Bayer, caught for a decade shipping out blood products they knew had HIV, their own documents. All of this comes out, and then we're weird to not just totally trust them. And they're like, how dare you say American doctors want to hurt you? No, the doctor down the street doesn't want to hurt me. They're compartmentalized, just trying to stay in business. Doctors' profits have gone down to almost nothing. I saw a USA Today article just a few days ago. In fact, I saw a couple articles. They were breaking down the fact that doctors are going bankrupt everywhere. Unless you're some specialist or some plastic surgeon person to the rich. But the vast majority, all the major professions with people that actually buy things and do things and fund the working and middle class, that's all being phased out. Most U.S. cities are falling apart. Crime is exploding. All of this is going on, and I'm sitting there talking to a nurse who barely even knows who I am. Met her a couple times, and she's talking about, oh, yeah, this one nurse is totally paralyzed, and then we're some other problems. And I said, Guillain-Barré? And she said, yeah, Guillain-Barré. They have to feed her. She's in a wheelchair. Yeah, a friend of mine. Then she went into how they don't even want to treat you once you've gotten sick. Oh, yeah, they don't want to see you. You take the shot, start having convulsions, you're bad. Because our Lord and Savior, Merck, our false deity, the golden calf, our idol. I mean, Merck ran that hoax with Rick Perry. In 2007, Merck had a drug that in the trials in 2006 was killing people. AP, CBS News, I mean, it all came out. Killing people. And those were the lucky ones. Other people got paralyzed, Guillain-Barré's, blood pouring out of every orifice in their body. All of this crazy stuff going on. Autoimmune diseases, hair growing on their hands and feet. I mean, whoa. Because it's a virus they're injecting you with. Supposedly attenuated, but of course it came out that it had been infected with other things that was causing an effect of lowering fertility and doing some other things in the body and was contaminated with other viruses. That'd be like saying when some Super Bowl champion quarterback throws another Hail Mary touchdown, it was an accident. Or if somebody's robbing your house, it's an accident. No, it's not an accident with this group who's been caught. I mean, it's like if you have a convicted murderer who's been caught over and over again and they get released from prison on a technicality and they get found with more dead bodies a month later. Oh, it's just an accident. Just an accident. Merck cares about us. And then you find out how all the big pharma companies were set up in the last 100 years, or even before that, by eugenicists to control the population. To control the population. That's why they're given government liability protection. I said I'd go to your calls, and I'm out of control. It's just that I start thinking about how these are groups knowingly caught doing bad things. And I go to CVS, I go to Walgreens, and I get lectured at the photo counter. I get lectured at the cashier about, do you want a flu shot? Here's a coupon. Do you want a loyalty card? And I'm like, no, the flu shot's bad for you. No, the loyalty card is just a way to get me to opt into being tracked. And the guy starts laughing and asking what I have to hide. And I go, that's it, pal. You weren't going to get a speech, but now you are. And I turn to the 5 people lined up behind me and beside me, and I go, do you understand the H1N1 shot that this CVS and others pushed caused a lot of deaths and illnesses and lowered the immunity of the regular flu? Do you realize what happened with the polio vaccine? They're like, sir, just please go. And I'm like, don't talk down to me then, okay? Don't talk at me and lecture me. Barnes & Noble does it. They get a speech. Or my children want some candy, and I'm sorry. All this even sugar stuff has aspartame. It's bad for you. Person's laughing. I go, do you know about aspartame? Sir, just whatever. Oh, I'm bad for caring what's in something my children are going to consume. You're going to get a speech now, buddy boy. You like that? Because I'm not taking it lying down. I was born in the dark, but it wasn't last night. I didn't just fall off a turnip truck. I don't like being assaulted. I don't like it. And I don't like all you little minders that work for the system and feel like you're part of it because you henpeck everybody. Get out of my way. We're here to wake people up. We're here to have a new renaissance against your tyranny and defeat the eugenics global control grid. Before it's fully activated. All right, I said I'd go to your calls. See, the callers just take me down these paths of issues. Sean in Wyoming, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hey, how's it going, Alex?
Good.
Good. Hey, I just want to call you and notify you about the Fox News e-card that came out this year. I don't know if you heard about that. Are you aware of that?
What particular type of e-card, sir?
Okay, if you go to Yahoo News and type in Fox News zines, it comes up with an e-card, and it has a sled race with Fox, ABC, NBC, CBS, with CNN and some other channel on the side.
Yeah, other corporate disinformation, brainwasher, anti-human, pro-New World Order, eugenics media. Zombie control system. So zombie control signal media. It's got the different symbols of the Hydra heads, of the enemies of humanity right there.
Okay, if you pull this up, though, guess what's pulling the sled? A bunch of sheep. They view their viewers as sheeple, and this is a blatant proof that they do so. And
well, you're saying internally, this is the type of cards they have?
Yeah, this is what they sent to each other. It says Fox News, zines, CNN, and the NBC on holiday e-card, just like last year.
All right. Well, I'm missing the middle part.